Hello, welcome to episode 5 of the Writer's Diary with Adedoyin Jaiyesimi. It's a pleasure once again to welcome you to today's episode. I hope that from the previous episodes that you've watched, you've been able to learn something and even apply what you learned, into your everyday writing habits. I hope that you've started your blog by now or you started writing your book because that's the kind of feedback that I love to hear. So today I'm going to talk about knowing your audience. Last week, I discussed the topic whether to go commercial or not. And one of the things that I said was that you need to write something that people will be interested in reading, because if you write something that people are not interested in reading, then it really doesn't, your impact is reduced. Really, you ideally are writing so that people would read. So today I want to talk about how to know your audience, or knowing your audience, because it's important. You have to know your audience and you have to tailor whatever you want to write to your audience, while not forgetting to maintain your voice, which is critical and important. So how do you start off? How do you know your audience? Where are you supposed to start from? There are billions of people in the world who will be interested in reading what you're writing. Okay, so I'll talk about myself, talk about my blog and use that as an example. So from there, you can pick up one or two things which will be applicable to you. So when I was starting my blog, the audience that I had in mind, I didn't have the goal of reaching 1 million people, 2 million people. I just wanted to write to touch somebody's life. I just wanted to share my experience with those people who may be going through or who may be in the situations that I had been, and then to learn from them. So every day I was content with having just one person. So my ideal reader in my mind was somebody who was going through tough times, who was from a broken home, who didn't have friends or anybody to talk to, who felt marginalized, and also people who don't know Christ, because I talk about God a lot and how He has affected my life, so that people that come and read my blog, they have this sense of, oh, I must know God. So that ideally was the kind of audience that I was looking for. So first things first is ask yourself, what kind of audience do I want to attract? What kind of person? So how old is this person? Is this person a professional? So for example, you want to write about, let me see, you want to write about social media, for example. Are you targeting beginners, or are you targeting people that have expertise in social media, or are you targeting people that have no clue on what to do? Are you targeting university students, or you're targeting people that work, or you're targeting the older generation? Because the older generation do need people to help them through knowing how to navigate through the technology improvements, the changes as well. So you need to define who exactly your audience is. Who are you writing for? I believe that I'm writing for, or I have set out to write for, people between the ages of 18 and 30. Yes, that's my target audience. And why I chose 18, because that's the transition point. You're getting into adulthood, you're getting into more serious things in life. At 18, ideally you should be in university. So a lot of the experiences that I write about come from when I was 18. Yeah, some of them when I was a bit younger, but it will be applicable for those people within that age bracket. So you need to know how old or what kind of characteristics your audience has. Now when you know that, it's easy to now move on to the next stage, which is, what is my audience interested in reading about? So if you want to write for teenagers as well, you will know that you're not supposed to write things that are so hard to chew on. For example, let me break it down. So for example, you're writing to a teenager, you can't write, the way you will write to somebody that is 45 and above and is working is not the way you write to a teenager. With a teenager, you've got to break it down. You've got to be in their head. You've got to be in this time of life. They're not interested in certain issues at this time. So even if you want to talk about those issues, there's a way that you will break it down, for them, so that they would understand and they would digest it. It also informs the length, of your post and how you write, what you want to write, because the younger generation, the chap, they want to read and go. So for such people, you're not writing a 1,000 word post, for example, you're going to be writing easy stuff, listicles, loads of pictures, loads of quotes. Those are the kind of things that will be tailored to them. Meanwhile, if you're writing for a Forbes, for example, or somebody in the business world, you're going to be writing more serious stuff. You can put pictures as well, but you're going to be writing things that they can use, things that they can apply. So you have to define the characteristic of your audience, and then you also find out what they want to read. And I think that the last thing that I would say concerning knowing your audience is make sure you get feedback. So that's where social media is so important. If you write something, for example, and you post it on Twitter, you post it on Facebook, try and get feedback. What did you like about this? What didn't you like about it? If you're a gossip blog, if you decide that you want to write about gossip, get feedback. Are they enjoying it? What didn't they enjoy? That way you can tailor whatever it is that you're writing to what your audience wants. Again, I always emphasize, they don't lose your voice. There's certain things that, because your audience says they want to read about, I don't know, something you're not interested in, does not mean you should write about it. You would always find an audience, for whatever it is that you want to write, but always know them, know what they want at per time, at every point in time, I would say, because your audience evolves as well. So as they're growing, as you grow as a writer, your audience is also growing. So make sure that your writing also grows to meet their needs. So I hope that I've been able to help you, in terms of knowing your audience. Again, if you have any questions, any concerns, any feedback, please send me an email or reach out to me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, or through the Sparkle Writers Hub platform. I'll be very, very willing to answer all your questions. So I'll see you again on another episode. Keep writing, keep shining, and keep sparkling. Bye.